should be on. Every once in a while, I just lose the microphone. I'm going to have to copy these into the new scenes too, because so I like Prism. This was I don't know that it was an upgrade from OBS. I switched over to Prism because Johnny Build suggested moving over to Prism. That's what he used, and he's never had problems with it. And at the time, I was having problems with OBS because I would lose a camera. But I don't think it was OBS's problem. I think it was my computer's problem. Didn't recognize all the USB inputs. I've got speakers, I've got 2 cameras, I got a mic, I've got something else. Anyway, since then, I've noticed that I will occasionally just lose things. Like, it just goes away. So, hang on real quick. I'm gonna... Yeah, it's back there. I don't know why it was lost on the first one. Anyway, so welcome. I hope you're having a good Father's Day. This is what I was saying when the mic was off. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, my name's Ben. This is Ben's Brick Designs. I appreciate you being here. I know I look a little rough, but yesterday was a long day, and I really haven't had time to sort myself out, but we're going to do a stream regardless. So thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. If you've just stumbled in, make sure you subscribe. I do Lego streams twice a week, Sunday mornings at 10 Central, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central. Building, designing, whatever. Yeah, so I'm hoping you're having a good Sunday and a good Father's Day for you fathers out there, for you dads. I hope you can see your kids. And it's a pleasant day. I hope they bring you a tie and make you a weird breakfast of pancakes and whatever, and toast. So, anyway, this is what we're going to be working on today, but I wanted to do a little thing first, a couple little things. So this is, haven't done a Microfighter design in a little bit, so I thought I'd give this one a go. This one is because, where did my mini? I had all my minifigures up here. What do I do with them? I have a stack of minifigures that I want to make into Microfighters, and I have a Captain Phasma, and I do have someone else's design of this, but I want to make my own for it, so I thought I'd do that. So we're going to work on that. I'm going to try to remember. Mute when I'm coughing, because getting over a cold and I still have coughing fits, but hopefully sitting still for a little bit helps with that. The other thing I wanted to show y'all is there is a new Microfighter out, and it is a Plo Koon Delta 7, and I think it's a Delta 7B Jedi Starfighter. This is the newest Microfighter to come out, released this month. This is on the heels of the Captain Rex Y-Wing was the most recent. So we've got this guy. Now, I already had one, and I feel bad because I don't have the name of the person who did this. I've been looking all morning, and I can't find it. But I already had one, a mock that was built for the Delta 7B. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, other than maybe the color, I kind of like this one better. If we could get some of these pieces in dark blue, I think that would be a lot better. You can see a comparison here. First of all, a new Plo Koon head on this minifigure compared to the old Plo Koon. His ears are a little tighter in this one. And his face stuff is a little lower. You can see there. So it's a new headpiece. The rest of the figure's the same. But you can see the shape. I honestly like this one better. It's more the Delta 7 shape. It's a little longer. Has it been low? Like you can't hear it? I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Let me know if that's okay. Is that better? I had to re-add the mic, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Because I'm like right in front of the mic. Good morning, Brian. How are you? I didn't say hello to everybody. We got Cliff, we got Greg, we got Misty, we got Brian, we've got MechOps Studios, previously known as Boot Knife. Yeah, for some reason, I think when I unplug the mic, it gets removed from the available sources, even though the application's not on. So whatever. And then I have to reset all the settings and everything. So let me know how, like the mic audio, the music, all that kind of stuff. So back to this real quick. I like the shape of this one better. And again, I wish I could tell you who designed this one originally. I've been looking all morning because I usually keep a list of the people whose mocks that I get. SECs, someone else's creations, sex, if you will. And I just like more about this than I do this one. Now, there are things about this I do like. There are new pieces in this that make the striping a little better. Like, it gives you that, you know, if you kind of squint your eyes, it gives you the kind of starburst pattern, which is really hard to do with some of the older pieces, but I think still works. Namely, those two front dark blue pieces are new. I haven't seen those before. They're 1x3 slopes with 45-degree cuts, curved slopes with cuts in them. That's really great. Those are some nice pieces. Excuse me. We also get dark blue triangle tiles. We get white 1x2 with the 45-degree cut tiles. I think that's it. There's some curved corner plates right there. I like the engine design back here better. It looks more like the Delta 7. This looks a little timid by comparison. The Delta 7, and I can't remember if it's Delta 7B. One of them has the droid on the side. One of them has the droid in the middle. I think the B has the middle. It has those big old fat engines on the back, and I think this serves better. So, and again, stud shooters, which I absolutely hate. Also, there's a big gap in between the wings and the fuselage where you can see through it. And in this, they cover it nicely with those rail plates. So, I think this just works better. There's the underside, if you want to care about the underside. I do like these pieces up in front. The wedge plates, I think makes better use of the front. But I think overall, I like the shape of this better now. I might be able to replace some of the pieces with dark blue plates and some of these pieces in here with like some, you know, they have to stack the plates and the tiles to get the striping, but you get the idea. So anyway, it's not bad, but it's not my favorite. I would take off the stud shooters, and I might right after this because it makes everything it just looks terrible. So if I ever find out who did this, I do have the studio file for this because I had to rebuild it. But of all the files, I usually have the name of the person who did it. You can see I've got it in here, and I just don't have whoever designed it here. I might have it down here. Yeah, I don't have Delta 7 or Jedi Starfighter. It might be this person. I'm gonna go ahead and look real quick because I want to make sure to offer credit if you want. And I don't know if mock pages is still a thing. Please click the circles as they appear. This is weird. Okay. What the heck? No. Whatever's going on here. Alright, well that sucked. Mock pages is apparently some crap. I'm going to download that and then scan my computer. Anyway. So yeah. So if I ever find out what that is, I'll post on my channel on the community tab about who designed this originally. But for now, we're going to start with, or we're going to keep going with, a new design, a new Microfighter. Real quick, I'm going to show you what the Q2 Stadium's been up to. We've got an indication of where I want the scoreboard to be, or the Jumbotron. This is a guess about how big it is, based off of where the seating is and where the, just kind of eyeballing the roof. The support stanchions are going to go a little bit higher, and then there's like a bunch of catwalks that attach to this underneath the roof, but the roof will go to about here. This will be where the roof is. And the next step is to attach some stuff here to make sure the weight can be distributed. But you can see I've got this tied down to the base here, attached to the shop here, finish the shop out. So now I'll need to replicate this across all of this backside here with all these shops and put these supports in here. The next step is to, this section is not attached to anything. So I have to figure out how to attach that. That's what I was working on previously, to see if I could attach them to the supports here or what. And these don't line up really well, so it may just be another case of putting something on top in here and having it just kind of hang. So we'll see how it goes. Will there be any banners in the crowd, or are those not allowed? I'd like to show you guys the banner that was in the soccer stadium last night. So this was at the game last night. There was another banner down here that says, there's no ice in this melting pot. This is part of the reason I'm congested and tired, is because yesterday, Beth and I went to the No Kings protest here in Pflugerville. And there's probably a good 1,500 people for a town of 75,000. That's not too bad. And then came home, took a nap, and then and then went to the football game last night, which was nuts. They won, and it was a crazy atmosphere. They had this about halfway through the first half. They pulled this up and kept it up for a long time. I don't know if it was on. I want to watch the game rebroadcast and see if this was televised at all, because if not, cowards. Apple TV cowards. So anyway, that was cool. So yeah, this is about where I am on this. The next step is to build this section out and this section out for real, and make sure that whatever I post up here, because this will have to hang out all the way out to here, right? The roof goes out to here. So I have to make sure that when I put this all together, if it's stable enough. I'm worried that this connection here isn't stable, so I'm gonna have to play with it. I can't make it too big because then it'll look bad, but it also needs to hold stuff up. But yeah, the scoreboard's just floating for now because I just wanted to get an idea of how big this is. I've heard from some people in the chat were like, if you go to AliExpress, you can get custom monitors made for whatever size you need. So I might look into that. Brian here in the chat's also good with that kind of stuff, so I had mentioned it to him. Whatever it is, I hope to just kind of slot it in here as a display, and then, you know, have the cabling or whatever run out from under here. If it's a monitor, all the better, because then you can control it from somewhere else. If it's a tablet, I'd be worried about, well, you got to unlock it, you got to run with whatever OS the tablet has, that kind of thing. And if, let's say, this eventually gets built somewhere and displayed, I have to have the ability to like control what's on the monitor. So, and who knows, I might put banners out here. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's where this is. But today, now that I've spent 15 minutes talking about other stuff, we're gonna work on a new Microfighter. Now this is the second, technically the second ship we see in Force Awakens. The first is the apologies. Is the Resurgent class Star Destroyer that crosses in front of the planet, and then we see these ships. Now, I couldn't really find a good name for these, but on Star Wars Wiki, it's called Atmospheric Assault Lander. Wikipedia. I thought it was a First Order troop transport, but that's a different thing. This is an Atmospheric Assault Lander. And I feel like these are kind of emblematic of the movies. Like, I feel like these were in the movies a lot. At the very least, they were in the first movie a lot. The very first scene, there's like 5 of them coming down, at least. And then later at Maz's castle, a bunch of them are there. The reason I feel they're more ubiquitous is I've been playing Battlefront 2 for a long time, and these are in that a lot. So anyway, first thing, let's make a Captain Phasma. So I think this should be pretty easy, because we can just get a Stormtrooper helmet. Episode 7 Stormtrooper, because I think these are... The problem with these is they don't... Oh, there we go. Some of these don't have the right... Now, Captain Phasma, as far as I can tell, is just... And I don't have the figure with me. So I'm going to just look at a picture. I think she's just got a regular Stormtrooper outfit. It's just chrome or brushed metal. So that's what we're going to work on. And she has a pistol and a cape on one side. So let's do this in brushed metal. Again, we're going to turn our filter off. Make sure that filter is off. It's under my photo and you can't see it. Sure this filter's off right here, because if it was on, we'd be stuck with whatever colors actually exist for this, but we're just doing a minifig. So I think it's pearl or flat silver. I think it's flat silver. I don't think she's officially chrome, and I don't think it's dark pearl dark gray. I think that's too dark, but I don't know. I have to go look. Quiet again? Oh, well, that's just because the gain isn't picking up. The what is it called? The corrided? Where's my gain? I turn the gain up a little bit, but the gain's gonna pick up a little more treble. When I look to my left, it's not picking it up. The mic usually sits right here, but I can put it more in front of me. I just didn't want to get in the way. When I'm doing building stuff, I have to keep it out of the way. Is that better? Does that sound okay? I can also turn it up a little bit more, if that's better. Still not great? Alright, well, I don't know what to do about that. See if it gives me any settings. Desktop audio. Now it's good. Okay. Alright, so let's see if just doing Stormtrooper with printing gives me... This should be First Order. And legs. Just gonna do that. And these are gonna be brushed metal. Arms. I don't think she's got a printed arm. arm. Right arm. So for those who weren't able to see it live, the interview with Justin is up. And you should be able to go to the channel and watch the replay, the VOD. It is about 2 hours, but I feel like it moved pretty well. And it's a lot about Justin specifically. It's not really about Lego Masters. I think a lot of people do Lego Masters stuff, and I don't know that that gets more or less interesting for people. I'm gonna see what her parts are. That sounded odd. I think those hands, I don't think those hands are brush metal. I think they're just like dark gray. Like that. And then her head, I don't think her head is included. I think it's just a gray, which kind of sucks because I think she's a good character. Yeah, so go check it out if you can. I think it's a pretty good interview, and I think it's a good introduction to Justin. If you don't know who he is outside of the few of us who know him from the Lug or the show. She's got a specific cape, but I'm gonna do. It's lined and stuff, and it goes over one shoulder, but there's a couple capes that are like pre-bent. So I might use one of these. I kind of like this one, even though it's kind of on the wrong side. Let's do black with that. Because I think it's black, yeah. Black. And then she has a weapon. She has a blaster. And she has oh, the cape and the helmet don't work well together. Let's ooch this up a little bit and see if that helps. Yeah, that does. Okay, cool. This blaster is, let's turn this on now. Flat silver. And then she's got like a staff that she hits people with. Usually. There we go. That's what I need. Lightsaber. And then harpoon. Harpon. And what colors is this? Flat silver. Flat silver. Flat silver. Perfect. Sort of. You get the idea. When it renders, it'll be fine. And I'll just not put her in the seat. She's got a lot of accoutrement. Hello, the instructions will be available on Rebrickable question? Eventually, like I haven't done a lot of, the instructions get made when I have time. And I have so many Microfighters that I can't, eventually, yes. I'm sorry you can't watch the live. Thank you for dropping in, Luca. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good Sunday. Yes. Keep an eye on Rebrickable. I realize that I'm been kind of deficit on getting those done. So I will endeavor to do better with that. So let's take a look at this. I've got a couple images here of the Some of these are fan made. This is from like a cutout book. I don't really need this, but I wanted to see what the insides look like. This is just to show the back end. It's got like these weird angled thrusters. I have kind of an idea of how to do those. And then it's got these like kind of bits sticking out of the side. I'm not really sure how to do that yet. But let's start at the start. This is a pretty square, boring ship. I don't think I'm going to put landing gear on it. Let's just start with a plate and go from there. And we may adjust this. So that's a 8x8 plate. Let's do a 6. Because then we're going to raise the middle up here. And I think I want to do some greebling along the sides. So we'll do some brackets. We'll do these big fat brackets. Let's push them back one. And then we'll do this ramp in the front. Now we could get cheeky and make the ramp actually work. It's actually a piece. That would work pretty well. I think it's one of these, yeah. One of these, because one of these is old and I don't know which is which because I have 3 in here. B, A, C. Well, all right, well, one of these doesn't have, you can get it in gray. So that's going to be the one. B, you can get B in gray. So we'll do a plate, modified plate. And I apologize, Luca, to being flip about the instructions. That seems to be, that's one of my pet peeves that I'm working on for myself, is that a lot of times when people are done designing a model, the first thing people want is the instructions for it. And it's kind of like, come on, man. Let's do boat bottoms. Under there, like that. Then we'll do, I think we could almost do wedge plates. It's too big. Not big enough. Just right. The angle's wrong. I did. Hello, James. I went to the Pflugerville one. The Austin one was at 5 o'clock. The Pflugerville one was at 1. And because I wanted to go to the game that night, I went to the Pflugerville one. So Beth and I both went. And there was a lot of people too. I mean, I was shocked to see there was, but And then I saw the one that was in Round Rock, which I thought would be bigger. I thought Round Rock's kind of slightly bigger than Pflugerville, but I have no idea why. It just felt. Anyway, there's video out there, probably on Reddit. If not, I've got one if anybody is interested, where we drove. We were there for about an hour and a half, and Beth started not feeling well, so we left, but then we drove back through it so we could honk and wave at people. And it was a good 3 minutes of driving past everybody. It was pretty good. The size was very, very impressive. So I'm glad we went. That's entirely too big. Yeah, it was good. We did have some counter protesters, obviously, which I don't get. I'm like, we're protesting the people who are in office, and you're counter protesting us. Isn't counter protesting the stuff that's in office already just you already have the people that you voted for in office? Like, why are you counter protesting? You've already done that by voting these people in. Anyway. All right, this is frustrating. Yeah, agreed. I don't want to just put a slope in here, but let's see what a slope looks like. Let's do an inverted slope. And then we went to the Austin FC game, which was bonkers. It was the vibe was really, really great. This won't work. Clips go into it. But here's another instance of studio not knowing what's going on. Maybe that's too big. This clip is too big. Maybe I'll go with this piece instead. I still have to do modified plate. But yeah, other than that, it was very low key and chill. No problems. Nobody was a problem. Oh, that one actually is this. And then we can do a wedge plate and see how this lines up. Like, can I rotate that lower? Not too much lower, or else it doesn't look right. What happens if we get one on each side? What does that look like? Well, that doesn't look too bad. There's stuff in there. That I don't like. Seeing holes in there and stuff, but let's do oh, I have an idea. Is that a curved? Yeah. Slightly better. Yeah, you can't really put anything in here. So maybe, well, no, I do kind of want it to be a little bulkier on the sides. Let's do some point I need vents back here. I also need a dummy figure to put in here, so let's make a dummy figure. We were joined by our friends at the event, and we actually ran into a couple people we knew, so it was pretty good. But again, peaceful, no problems. I did hear the one in Austin got like the police arrested a few people, but I think the consensus was it was fine until the police got involved. For my birthday, I needed to show you guys this. My birthday's at the end of this month, so this was an early birthday present from a friend of mine. The ladies, kids' moms, who do all the patches for the cut vests and stuff. They got me a birthday present. I'm always losing or breaking water bottles when we go to the Austin FC games. You're allowed to bring in a water bottle as long as it's empty, right? And then when you buy water bottles there, you have to take the lid off before you go up into the stands because they don't want you throwing full water bottles on the field. And the idea is you're not going to throw your personal water bottle out there. So I've always been jealous of their Yetis. I have a Yeti, but it doesn't have a handle and it's really cumbersome to take. It's this guy, right? This big old Yeti that's got stickers all over it. So they got me a new one, but it's got my little logo on it, which I thought was great. And on the back it says Ben's Brick Designs. So I thought that was really nice of them. Really nice, like kind of they scratched the paint off, kind of etching. Worked out really good. Doesn't look good at the Austin FC games, but it'll look good at the conventions, of which I go to 0. So that was very cool of them. I was very grateful. May have got teared up a little bit. I was like, oh, you guys. All right. Let's do plate. Just for now. I have a feeling this will change. And then along here, I'm going to do ingots. Actually, yeah, I'll do an ingot here. And then we'll do this tile, angled tile, corner tile. There's this one that's got a cutout. It's pretty cool. Oh, we can get some of these in here at some point. This one. Single tile here, and that'll look good. It looks perfectly, it's a perfectly cromulent bit of Greenland. As the added bonus of holding these two plates kind of together a little bit. Yeah, so let's look up this new, if you guys are joining us here late, I've got the new Microfighter Delta 7 Plo Koon Microfighter, and it has these great new pieces on the front. They are 1x3 slope, curved slope with 45-degree cutout. This is not focusing. It's got these cool new pieces on the front of it. I hadn't seen those before. I'm guessing they are new Speed Champion things, and the idea of Star Wars getting new pieces kind of confounds me. Like, I don't think they ever get new pieces, but I don't know. So those are new to me, and I'm wondering if they've got them in the system. So if we were to do slope, curved, I doubt they're going to be in here, but let's check anyway. So it would be these guys, but with a curve. They would have a cut right here. So it doesn't look like they're in the system yet. So they're that new. But those would be cool kind of along the top here to kind of finish it out. All right, so we want to sit this guy, let's say we want to sit him, her, a little forward and above these, nope. We're going to go up, we're going to go over. I want him sitting basically on top of those, but I don't know how to make that happen. I also don't have to have these panels in there, I just liked it. So when you open this up, it looked like a little hallway. The reason I want the person sitting far forward is if you were to look at the ship itself, it's got, like I was going to put him right here because it's got this weird little control tower back here, a little pilot seat. Star Wars has this really weird thing that it has where if you notice a lot of other science fiction doesn't do this a lot. Star Trek does to some extent. It puts the bridge or wherever the pilot is or wherever the captain might be out in the open, just hanging out there. So many Star Wars ships have the bridge sticking up or sticking out or, you know, in a big glass bubble, you know. They have the technology to go faster than light, shoot superheated plasma bullets, have laser sword weapons, nearly sentient droids. Put your bridge, put your pilot thing inside of all the armor you can find and just have like a heads up projection of the world around you. Why does everything gotta be, why do you have to look like you're in a fishbowl or an aquarium to be able to see everything, you know? It's cinematic, that's why. Yeah, but Windows. Technically the bridge of the Enterprise doesn't have a window, but it's still like, it's the topmost thing. And I think back to Galactica, Battlestar Galactica, the new one. I don't know about the old. The old one, they were kind of like right up in the front. The new one, the front was like an observation area. The bridge was like inside the ship, like it was like sheltered, and they relied on instrumentation and late. It wasn't radar in Battlestar. It was lidar. It wasn't even lidar. Dratus. It was Dratus. Which I think is cool because it's still like you could see where the acronym comes from, because radar is an acronym, and you can still kind of figure out where Dratus comes from, right? You're like, okay, I can still see the word building that word. So that's fun. All right, so let's pop him there for a second, and I'm gonna work on some engines. We can see the engines over here. This has got actually a pretty good look at the engines. They're kind of at an angle. What I thought I would do for these guys is do these round plates 2 at a time, and just stick these 1x2 tiles on them in trans light blue. The reason to do that is so I can then have a couple of these angled, and I know the piece I'm going to use is my favorite piece. The most ubiquitous of pieces, this guy. Because he can go a little far into there, and then we can rotate this around it like that. Or the other way. Is it the other way? Yeah. The other way. Let's see, 270, so 30 degrees. Making a even 30 degrees. I don't know what the angle is here. It looks more like 40. Let's do 35. Maybe a little better. Actually, don't need that. Looking for a key, and I couldn't find the key. And then I put a little plate right here. And just copy this. Oh, it doesn't work. It's too close. So let's bring this guy up a little bit. With a corner plate. Maybe on the outside. Nope, the inside was actually kind of nice. That's really high up there. You know what? Now that I think about it, let's just change the rotation to 45 and see if that helps. So 315 on both of these. Look at that. Beauty. It's a little lower than the back of the ship, but maybe I'll put something under here. Let's lower that. Whoa, that was way over there. Sometimes it cracks me up that can happen. So far away. Let's do a... Is that a 6? Let's do a 6. So what is everybody's plans for the rest of the day? I know Brian's dad, James is a dad. I don't think Mech Ops Studio is. I don't know if Cliff is. Cliff, do you have kids? Don't even think I know that. I think you do? I don't think Greg is. Any plans for Father's Day? Anybody taking anybody to breakfast or anything? I know it's also Sunday, so maybe people have church. Why does that not work? Happy Father's Day, indeed. Okay, so that doesn't work. Might have to push these guys back out a little bit. Or we'll just do 5. How long do you think it'll be until we get 2x5s? So we have 1x5s. No plans, just relaxing. Archaeology camp? Wow. Not gonna lie, archaeology camp sounds freaking amazing. I am kind of jealous. All right, so these guys have these weird, exhaust fan things on the back that I have to figure out how to do too. They can't be too big, but they have to stick out a little bit. I'm still in school, but I got 2 years of it left once this year is done on the 18th. School meaning high school or college? Because, like, my kids have 2 years or a year or 5 years of school left, but they're, you know, in their 20s. I wanted to do these pieces as these pieces here, but they're way too big. These are a little better, but again, I think they're just too big for that section. What can this attach to? Oh, you look at that. This is an old hinge that they don't make this attachment anymore, I don't think. Here's one that can attach to it. They do click hinges now. They don't do these swivel hinges, these finger hinges anymore. And if they do, they're like odd spacer pieces. So here's one. These used to be a lot more common. Than they are now. And the ones I have were all the old open stud ones. And we got a lot of these in Futron and Space Police and stuff like that. You could put it on the back of a headlight brick. I could. But I'd have to put the headlight brick up here. I think these are kind of too big. I'm thinking of something smaller, just like a tile. And it'd be a good excuse to do these new tiles somehow. But they do look like that ski, don't they? They're just like, if I could take this part of the ski and get rid of this part. Not really. The size thing, I don't try to keep it. This could be bigger, honestly. If you look at, this is an official Microfighter now, and it's built off a 1x8 plate with 3 studs going one way and 2 more going another way. So it's 13 studs long, right? I try to center everything around like a 1x8 plate and width to be 8. I failed on a lot of attempts. Some things are very big and some things are a lot smaller. I found that the bigger a ship, the easier it is to get away with it being smaller, because there's no way you're going to capture as many details. But the smaller a ship is, the more stuff that can identify that ship is visible, and you try to capture it all. So like, if you have a Star Destroyer, it's a big gray triangle. You really don't need to push anything, right? Big gray triangle. Try to get the shield generator things up top, the bridge up top. That's all you need. Try to recapture the engine configuration on the back. Big gray triangle. When you start getting smaller, CR-90 Corvette has a block of certain number of engines, and it has a big kind of weird shaped bridge, right? And it's got like laser guns that are like, just maybe there's only 4, and there's like escape pods that you could, you know, so, and the shape becomes more important. An X-Wing, you need 4 wings, and you need a cockpit, and you need thrusters, and it all has to fit. So use a 1x1 clip, tile clip, and a 1x1 round stud with bar. Yeah, that can be, I need 2 of them though. I know what you're going for. get this guy in here like this. I could get rid of this, or put this up here like this and move that here. And again, these are slightly off, so you can do, and then clip plate, no, bar plate. Actually, there it is, like this, boop, and have him open up. Oh, well, except this thinks it's attached, so you got to do it this way first, and then hit the hinge. Why is that not? Huh. It doesn't want to hinge it at all. Let's move it over here and see what happens. There we go. Like that. And you can do 2 of these. I always think these look like big toes. So that's one way to do it. I don't like the studs hanging out here, but this is a really good method, and I appreciate this. I'm going to put this guy back here. Actually, I have to get rid of all of this now. I didn't realize why that was not... That's so weird. And then the 1x1 tile. Yeah, it works. It's I'm gonna keep that for now. That's pretty good. Oh god, I want to do something else down in there, but let's do... It needs to be angular. There's not a lot of smooth, rounded things on here. I want to keep it kind of... I kind of want to like... I want a 1x1 ingot. I think that would be so amazing as a... Yeah, this doesn't... I don't like that. Maybe that. We'll try it both ways. As they say at Scrubs, I've heard it both ways. So we'll try this over here. And we'll get rid of that. Actually, we'll keep that. Move it over here. All these pieces. The other size component I try to keep around is 100 pieces. Maybe not size-wise, so as long as it's around 100 pieces, if it's very complex. But I've had sets, I've had one Microfighter that was 200 pieces, which sounds like a lot, but it was only about this big. The irony being, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it, like I don't know exactly what it is. So this is the TIE Bomber, and the reason it's big is because the official TIE sets... This is as close to an official TIE set as we can get. This isn't an official TIE fighter, but the canopy is roughly the size. I was trying to redo, like I think these need to be moved in. This looks like a Rebels TV show TIE fighter where they're a little more weirdly shaped. The wings need to be much farther in. Like if you just got rid of this and moved those over, it'd probably be a lot better. That looks better. Anyway, this canopy, it fits a figure. It's got this dish on the front, looks like a TIE fighter. A TIE Bomber has the same canopy. It just has 2, right? It's got, and that pod is modular. What you find out later is that pod can be used for bombs, rockets. It can be full of sensor equipment. It can be a sensing package. That whole thing can be a TIE, you know, like not an AWAC. What were those? Yeah, AWAC. Like a flying radar. Advanced detection, right? They have radar, they have whatever, laser detection, all kinds of stuff. AWACS, yeah. It could be an AWAC, a TIE AWAC. You also find out that the same configuration as a TIE boarding craft. So you stuff that component full of troops. It doesn't hold many, maybe 10, 8, like not a ton, but enough to get onto it. You send 3 or 4 over, have a boarding action, whatever. So knowing that, I was like, well, I'm just going to take this and double it. And now I have a TIE bomber, right? Here's the same thing. But the TIE bomber also has a bigger back end for the thrusters. Here's your second pod. You got to put the wings on it. So now it becomes this giant, unwieldy, and this is 161 parts. And this is tapered down. Like at one point it was 200 parts even. The official TIE bomber set before we got a new TIE bomber, the old blue and black one, was 201 pieces, and it was a full set. So I was like, oh, I need to trim this down a bit. So I went back and tried to replace some parts. And okay, James, take care. Happy Father's Day. Tell your kids they better be making you waffles and breakfast and stuff. But yeah, so this almost doesn't work. However, I did a TIE shuttle, and this had Wolf Yularen in it, because they made these little guys, right? This looks more along the size of a Microfighter. It's 100 parts. So I think this looks better. All you have to do is turn the wings around, TIE bomber, right? So I have this one built, and I have this one built, and they're hilariously sitting next to each other, even though they're the exact same size craft. So I try to keep a certain part count, and roughly 8 by 8, but sometimes it pokes out. I have a couple Bosk's ship, the Houndstooth, is like very long. But it, again, I was like, I have to get, this is a recognizable part of it. I have to get that in there. This is a recognizable part of it. I have to get that in. Lately, from when I started 6 or so years ago doing this, the types of small parts have increased. We've got 1x5 plates. That helps tremendously. I don't have to do a 1x6. The angled 1x2 plates is very important. Some of the smaller, like round plates with bars or clips, the 1x1 round with a clip on the bottom is really new. And I can use that for a lot of things. So a lot of these I can probably go back and redo. Am I going to? No, there's just too many Star Wars ships to get done. If I've got it done, it's done. If somebody else wants to take it upon themselves to rebuild something, then I wish them Godspeed. All right, so there's that. This now has a grill brick back here, which is super easy to do. Modified brick. Just throw that on there. Sorry, getting texts from... Yeah, I'm still super proud of us getting, or the band getting the Abolish ICE sign in there. Last night. That was really cool. So then this could be a, no, this could just be a brick. I was gonna say this is a good use of this corner tile to cover these right in here. I like how it let me put that there for no reason. There's nothing it's attached to, but it just let me put it there. So I have very bad lungs, and every time I get sick, I cough a lot for a very long time. And it's just my lungs fill up, and I can feel it when every time I take a deep breath, it rattles, and I can feel it going up and down, and I can never quite get it all cleared out. And I cough so hard sometimes that I get lightheaded, and everything goes into tunnel vision, and I have to just sit there, and like, that can't be good, right? It's not. So every time I get sick, like even a little bit of, what is this conflicting with? Oh, the guy. With whatever, I'm like, well, it's gonna be 5 years of me coughing on stuff. I wonder if I can just put him in there. No, something needs to cover that up. Haha. There we go. I guess I could rotate up that a little bit more, just till it's bumping into that. It's actually pretty good. I don't know what the top looks like. Don't have an image of the top. Oh, here we go. These are all fan images, these kind of big renders. So it's hard to know if these are the official. I think this is a toy. Oh no, somebody built that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess I could go watch the movie or go play the game again. And see if I could get an overhead shot, get like a rocket trooper and wait for them to land and then kind of rocket trooper up and take a look. All right, happy Father's Day, Brian. I'll see you in like a week at our next meeting. So take care. Have a good Sunday. Say hi to your kiddos. Yeah, that guy on YouTube that's occasionally at the meetings that you don't know, he said hi. There's a how to build it in Minecraft. Alright, well, we're just going with this. It doesn't look like there's a ton of stuff up here, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But this is where the dude will sit. And we will put... Let's see, how high do we want him sitting? It's Captain Phasma. She'll have a cape. So we'll do a modified tile. Do the regular, this is a seat. And then what color do those come in? Dark bluish gray, because everything in the first order is the same color. And then we can put jump panel, jump tile. modified plate? Yes. And then the slope. This is something I do. It's just part of every Microfighter has it for some reason. So I'm gonna put it there. Even this guy has it. You can see up in the front, he's got that little jumper plate with the transparent cheese slope. It's sort of like the signature of the Microfighter line. Alright, so then we're gonna put a little tile. Which I think is cute, and I try to put them on every ship that I make. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Like the cockpit is not where the person is sitting, like in this case, but I still think it's fun. Trying to think if I need to put another plate up here, if that's a good height. I think that's a good height. So there was a tile round. Oh, something just happened. I clicked on the print option. I want to get a little tile that looks like a door, the little canopy, or the little hatch. So looking for something that's got a little hatch on it. I think there's one. I know there's a 2x2 tile, that's one. Smiley faces, eyeballs. Oh, there it is. Hatch. Black. Well, I don't want black. Fruit, masks, pop can. That's kind of one, but that's more of a window. And that's trans clear, so I don't want either of these. This might work. I think I've officially run into this before where I was like, there's not really a good one. So maybe I'll just do a regular tile. Just a regular tile right there. And it has a little gun on here. The guy can pop up and put a little gun on there, but I'm not going to worry about that. So the next thing is this little command control bit. I don't know if I want to do a jumper here, but maybe. And I think there's a perfect piece for this, which is the modified brick, too high snot brick. Yeah, I don't know that they make a thermal detonator one now that you mention it in studio. And there's really no good way to do this, so I'm just going to do two different tiles. Let's go back and look, though. Let's color that in black. Could put, oh, you know what? This would be a good place for a grill tile. Grill. I wonder if this is too big. That'd be kind of cool there. Yeah, I like that. And then we put that back a little bit. Nice. Move that back, and then nah, leave it like that. Naked stud out there. I think that's done. Like, I hate to be done an hour into it, but how many pieces is this? 69 pieces? That's not bad. Full props, Mech Ops Studio, for the for this bit right here. I would have struggled with that. For it's super basic and it's super simple, but it's effective. I would have tried to get something more tile. Like if there was a clip with a tile, like this, but with a clip on it, I would have tried to do that. And I would have tried to make it way too complicated. So this works pretty well. Let's look for this print, and we'll do 1 by 1 round tile. I didn't see the thermal detonator in here, but that's definitely something I could put in the instructions. Is be like, if you have this part, let's do this. Let's go look it up and see if it's just, I can put the number in there. Thermal detonator. I'm sure they have it. Nope. I want that. Yeah, there it is. Perfect. That'll work. Boom. All right, now let's look at the ship again and see if there's anything that could be colored different that would look better as a dark gray. Like, I feel like these could be dark gray. This could be dark gray. This just gives it a little bit of a... I think these could be dark gray. I think those are more ubiquitous in dark gray. I don't think these exist in dark gray. If they do, they're expensive. Oh, not really. Well, they're twice as much as the other ones, but I think they need to be that color. And I think the engine plates need to be dark gray too. Everything else I think is okay. Yeah, that works. I like that a lot. Cool. Well, let's think about this. So this is done. I'm gonna get rid of this guy and put... Yeah, stepping on Lego is no good. Put this guy here. Make sure to... Oh, you know what? Rookie move. Did not save this at all. Soup to nuts did not save this. And now it's gonna lock up. Let's make this piece black as well, just to give it some... Yeah, that works out really well. I like it. And then when you open the thing up a little bit, it looks like there's stuff in there. It's pretty cool. I suppose I could put a plate. That would make that hard to put together. So I think I'm going to hold off. Sorry. I didn't mean to cough right into the mic. Yeah, all right, so save as, and this is going to be the atmospheric assault lander. Is that what it's called? What did I do a search for? Atmospheric assault lander. Yeah, see, it's called a first order transport. I don't know why it's called the atmospheric assault lander or landing craft, but I'm going to keep it as the real name. And we can do a render for it right now just to make sure that it works. But I don't know what rendering does. And this is kind of floating a little bit. Well, no, I'll probably, like, usually when I display these, like, build them in real life, I will, yeah, and you could totally put, how deep is that? You could totally do this like that. You know, you can get away with making it look just like a small version, right? But I always try to put the figures in it. She may not have her cape when I put her in there, and probably not her spear, maybe just the gun. So I'll render this later. I'm trying to think of another, like, what we can start another one. I don't know where I put my figures. I just stick them over here somewhere? Yeah, there they are. I've got this handful of figures that I can do. Since I already have them, I can build around it. So yeah, here's, oh, her head is black. So I haven't even opened her cape up. I bought this at a Bricks and Minifigs. Got her at a Bricks and Minifigs. And the cape is still in here, so. But I think her cape is actually is a pretty big, like, part of her character. So, the other figures that I already have, well, I just have to build this one. I've already got a design for it. This is the Arrowhead with Xander Freemaker. So this guy's done. We can get the parts for it. I know I'm gonna have, I think I'll have all these. I think I'll have most of this. Like, I don't know if I'll have a thermal detonator or not, but I probably do. The gray ingots I may have run out of. The 1x5 plates I think I'm all right on. These in gray I may not have. I think I have them in like green and brown, but gray I don't know about. So we'll have to see. These clips I know I've been running out of, so I may have to just like order a bunch of new parts. All right, so this figure, this is Xander Freemaker from the Freemaker Adventures. I think I already have. I already have this one built. Oh, I was redoing it. Nope, there it is. So this is a pretty good indication of, it's 83 parts. Not many more parts than this, but look how big the parts are. It's still a sizable craft comparatively, right? About twice as long as this, but it has all the parts that are needed for this ship. Like if I were to go back and redo some of this, I might shorten this part up. So you don't need that. Don't need, you know, you can put a plate here instead of a bar or a brick. There may be a new piece or maybe some new pieces. These lipstick pieces are going to be really hard to find. So I may just do, these can now be those two those 2L bars instead. It's a lot easier to do than find lipstick pieces. Lipstick used to be, that's how old this ship is. This is pre these pieces. So interesting. Wow, that's pretty cool. Interesting way to get that on there. Just have like regular, you know, for greebling, these guys under here. Other than that, nothing looks really sort of. I would definitely need a black fez. I don't have a black fez, but everything else looks like it works okay. Yeah, I might shorten this to be round plates instead. This just seems a little long. It is a long ship, but this needs to be a microfighter. I don't think it needs to be this long. And the thing about this ship is it's got this like play action thing. The actual ship has like this triggered thing. I don't even really know what it does. In the toy, so there's a toy where it does this like shielding ramming thing with the front of the ship. I'm not even really sure what it's supposed to be, but history behind the scenes periods. Okay, so it has a kyber crystal that it like comes out of the front of it and allows it to kind of blast through everything, I guess. What's up, Aries Silva? Happy Father's Day. My family got me a Technic Planet Earth and Moon in orbit as a present today. That's cool. You got the orrery, the turn crank thing with the. That's very cool. I'd like to get that. That's a cool set. Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming on. I hope you have a good rest of your Father's Day. So anyway, yeah, I've got the figure for this. I can source the pieces here. I might go back and clean up a few more of these pieces if there's newer pieces. It's new enough to have these. These were kind of newish to start, so that's a good one, so I'll save that. But yeah, that's a fun ship. So that's this figure. I've got a Mace Windu, and I think this was an Edda class shuttle. And this is entirely too big. So this is almost 200 pieces. This could be pared down extensively. This is this weird shuttle with like the round ball cockpit. So I did this as close as I could. Like this actually I think is a pretty good representation of the ship, right? I wanted to get the design. The wings are all like cut out and stuff, and I wanted to make sure to capture that. But this is way too many pieces, and I'm trying to get him into the cockpit in the front where there's a wing over his head. So it's hard, you know, that one's hard to, and this is why I haven't built this one yet, because it's massive. It's not a microfighter, it's way too big. So this is when I could go back and from the ground up probably redo it. So that's Mace Windu. I've got Sebulba, which would be, I don't know where I left off with his pod racer. I think it's okay. This may be one that I could build. Yeah, that seems pretty good. It's 96 pieces. I think everything holds up okay. The only question I have is this connection here. It's small enough to where it probably would be okay to just hold this. The only thing I think is this doesn't have a connection. But I have an idea now. Because there's a new piece, so this is where the new pieces come in. This needs to be held on here somehow. So it's little energy binders. There is now a new piece. That is this piece. And it comes in black. Also comes in pearl gold. But it also comes in black. So we can put this right here. Oh, it's too big. How's that too big? Oh man. So anyway, the only reason I haven't built this is I want the energy binders in here some way. So let's work on that for a hot second, and then I think I'll source the parts for this. I don't think I have these in orange. These look expensive. Orange parts are hit and miss with me. Like I may or may not have them. So, Aries Silva, did you go to were you at the game last night? I forget if, I feel like you're an Austin FC person who's also a Lego person. And if you were at the game last night, how awesome that we got 3 points. Beer, water, 3 points. Is there any other part in here that I could replace with a better, newer part? I feel like in order to make this make sense, I'm going to have to hold it down. So let's replace this with curved slope. In orange. Because I know they come in orange. And then we can put a tile on the back end here. And this doesn't really increase the part count too much. It's only 96 pieces. So, I'm gonna have to put some of this together, make sure it doesn't weigh it down too much, but I think it'll be okay. We'll have to see. All right, so how to get this energy binder in here to connect. I almost feel like if I had a tile clip. See, that fits. But it fits because there's there's room under the plate. I don't think the bar would fit in there though. Without running into it. Yeah, it still conflicts with that. So that's not good. Maybe this will be a friction build. I think the idea that I had originally was that this was going to be a... Oh, wait. Shoot. All right. Well, let's go back to the beginning. I'll go back and replace these guys. Honestly... I'm gonna change this up a bit. I want this to be a little more stable. So we're gonna put this on like that. And now we'll get curve slope. Get this guy on here. That one little stud hanging out there. Alright, cool. Yeah, because I think this will be okay. I'll have to test it. I'm worried that this will break off. This is going to be weak point right here. But we'll see how well that works. This might be a friction build, but like I could just jam that in there. I'm gonna have to test it, but this is definitely one now that I could build. So Sebulba's next, Arrowhead, Sebulba's Microfighter or Sebulba's Pod Racer. And Captain Phasma, source the parts for that. I have Jedi Interceptor. So this is another one that I feel like I have a design for it. Oh wait, I don't know, you just add J's to the end of stuff. Jedi Vector, no, that's a High Republic. Jedi Scout Fighter, it's already done. So Eta-class shuttle, Jedi Interceptors. So yeah, Jedi Interceptors. This was one designed by somebody else. I don't mind doing this, especially because it's got a neat canopy in it, and this was one you can easily recolor any of these. To be like whatever color you want, right? This I would do in dark red, if it came in dark red. In fact, let's do a trick. You're in studio, and you have your regular cursor here, right? If you hit Shift and V, it will change your cursor type. And the cursor types are, select everything, it's a little palette next to your cursor, so select everything of that color. Select everything that's connected. This is a little connection symbol, a little triangle with connected dots. Select everything that's connected to this part, whatever part you select. Next is everything that is not connected, so everything away from this part. Like if you've got a free floating part and you want to know why it's free floating, maybe it's connected to something. Oh wait, no, that's by type. Okay. They changed the symbols on me. All right, so this is connection, type. This is type apart. So if you want to select all the 2x2 plates, you can select that. And it will connect, or it won't select like all the plates, all the slopes. It has to be specifically that one part. This is all the parts, type, and color. So all the red 1x2 slopes. And then back to your regular whatever. So let's say I wanted to select all the red parts. I'm going to select all the red parts, and now I can just change the color to dark red. And this would be more in line with Anakin Starfighter, and I even think these back things could be red as well. I think that would be a little better color. I think most of it would be dark red. And then you can scroll up and down and see if anything suddenly is not showing up in dark red. There's a lot of 1x2 plates in here that got to be replaced. But again, this is somebody else's design. I might design it differently, but I really liked the way they made this canopy. So this is another reason I haven't built one of these yet. Because it would have to be from the ground up, and I would have to try to forget that they did this. One of the iconic components of the Jedi Starfighter is that it's this very little canopy area with little bitty foldable wings, right? There's no hyperdrives, there's no shields. I don't know if you know this about Jedi Starfighters. There are no shields and no hyperdrive. They minimize everything to weapons and life support because it's Jedi flying them. They can tell when they're going to get shot, so they don't need shields. They can avoid everything, right? Anyway, so this is one. That's why I have Anakin, so do that. And then I have random parts for a Naboo Starfighter, which we've already got. We've already got a Naboo Starfighter, so I don't need to do that. So Anakin and Mace, I need to redo. And this one is a resistance transport. So let's save this and close it. Lego Car Lover, hello. You are a Lego YouTuber? That is fantastic. So am I. So yeah, Arrowhead's definitely one to build. It's going to be a little more obscure, but there's a figure for it. So there you go. Excuse me. Resistance transport. Was this somebody else's design? Yeah, this is somebody else's design too, man. So the resistance transport, I thought was a official set, but I guess it's not. I could absolutely redo this one, and I think I might. But this is really good. It's a few more parts than I'd like, but again, you could, like, I would get rid of the stud shooter. But again, you could see it knocks all the the needed, like, components of the ship, right? It's got a thing, and you know, the doors open, so it's got what looks like doors. It's got a certain color scheme, right? Blue and gray and like some dark tan in there. That's cool. It's got laser beams. It's got a canopy or a cockpit over here. It's got this little like round area, right? It's got its fins. I might replace the fins with a different color, but like what's available? White's too white. There's no light gray. There's no dark gray. But you could search for tail. Oops, I don't want to do that. What do you do on your YouTube channel, Lego Car Lover? That's too big. So this is, you know, the size fin that you've got available. It's an older piece too. This is actually, I feel like, an older piece. So you could replace this with like a slope. You could do a 1x2 slope, and I think would give you the same sort of look. And I don't think anyone would fault you for doing that, especially if it kept the color scheme. Like you could definitely do, if we got rid of these and did did a blue plate. And then a slope. It's kind of in the middle, but then if you capped it with a cheese slope, you know, that's not too bad. I would do that, I think, instead of the tail fin, because the tail fins, it's going to throw the color off. This I would change to that color. I like the skids under here. The skids are good. It's a good part usage there. It's got support. They put support under here. You know, this opens. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Oh, and look at that. They even put like, you can put like one figure right there, you know, and they've got an internal area that's black. So some quality stuff here. This is probably why I didn't redo it, but it's not mine. It's not my design. So good part usage back here with this, you know. I could get a look at the back end of the shuttle. Say minus Lego. Get some more. So this gun pod could be a little bigger, but I think they did a good job there. And again, this was like, I don't remember where I got this one. Resistance transport, Eurobrick. So let's see if this page is still there. So a long time ago, well, I want to say like 2014, Eurobricks did a big push for microfighters, and a lot of people posted some really great images up and builds, and I don't think, well, yeah, the LXF file. So now I know that I was able to get the build file for it. I don't think I had to reverse engineer it. But they posted so many pictures that it's like, yeah, you could totally reverse engineer this. So anyway, it's a good set. I'm not gonna lie. That's one that I have parts for, or I have a figure for. There are a lot of other Star Wars figures that I have, but I don't necessarily think they have a ship associated with them. So it's always like, what ship could you get to go with this figure if it was a Star Wars figure? Like how many ships can you put Ahsoka in? She's, you know, you could put her in Republic Y-Wing. You could put her in a Delta 7. One of these, if you colored it right. So if you got this and you colored it red, that's Ahsoka's. If you got it in yellow, that's Anakin, right? It really depends. You don't have to build a ship for every stormtrooper or first order trooper or anything like that. But so there was a YouTube channel, a YouTube post recently, Radio Free Coruscant, and they did every new ship or every ship in Andor, and it's a treasure trove of ships. But again, they're all background craft, right? I already got the Fondor Hallcraft, the TIE Avenger. There's really nothing else that's specific to the show and its characters. They're all just kind of like, here's another ship, right? Apologies for the coughing. But there's, you know, there's a lot out there, so there's still stuff to do. It's just you got to kit bash a figure. So, another one I might try to do if we can get. I need to find a Saw Gerrera figure. That's an actual figure that we can get. I can do Morgan Elsbeth's starship because we have a figure of her. Don't have a New Republic officer, really. I don't think. Does anyone come with the Ghost? Did we get one with the Ghost at all? I don't think so. We got Chopper, we got Jason Syndulla, and then Hera, but I don't think we got an officer. Okay, cool. I might have a lot of those parts already if I was going to rebuild it. Or if I was going to build it. So, if you want to send me the IO file for it, I can take a look at it in studio and then part it out and see what's up. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know when I'll get to it, but it'll give. Maybe I'll do that on stream. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, yes, I'm going to part out Phasma, Sebulba, Xander, and these guys are something else. Let me go grab some real quick. So, to give you an idea, if I'm looking for specific Star Wars figures to make into ships, I have quite a bit. That's not a Star Wars figure. But it's a newish figure. I think that's Anakin. I don't think that's Jedi Bob. I have 3 what was the Marvel movie? I can never remember the title of this Marvel movie. With the 12 gods or whatever. It was 7, but the Eternals. I have 3 of the 1, 2, 3. I have 3 of the Eternals, and I 4 from Arshem, the Arshem figure thing. Anyway, but I mean, to give you an idea, like this is all my These are all my Star Wars figures, right? Most of these are things that are people that don't have any kind of ship, but are available if I wanted them to kit bash. But there's no one in here that I haven't already done. Like I've got a second Fennec Shan figure, but I've already got her ship built, so I don't need another one. I saw the alert. Yeah, thank you. You can only, how many times can you build the Havoc Marauder? Honestly, you know what? I just realized I don't have a Havoc Marauder built. I don't think. Havoc Marauder look like? It's entirely too big. So this is another one. 161 parts, and it's 2, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. It's 13. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It's 13 deep and 18 wide. It's way too big. A lot of this is wickedly unnecessary. Look at this overkill of these pieces in here, right? This is entirely too big. At some point, and I know what happened with this, I got sent, or I figured out somebody's ship, and it was a Lambda class model on how to do these wings for shuttles. The problem with a lot of these shuttles is these dorsal fins go over the cockpit. So there's nowhere for your minifigure to sit. So you've got to like push everything back so you can have a dorsal fin and still have the minifigure up front, which means the rest of the body is huge. So like the Eta class shuttle was the same thing. What is I think this is Palpatine? No. What is Palpatine's shuttle? It's not the Iota class. What is it? No. Emperor? No. Theta? Is it the Theta class? I have to take all these thes off here too. That's kind of annoying. Yeah. So here's another. This is the Emperor shuttle. You can see again, and this is a conflict. I know it works in real life because I built it, but it just doesn't like it in this software. But you can see, all I did was like, all these shuttles did the same, not that one, did the same sort of wing configuration. Like this side bit with a slope, and then like these big things on it. And I don't know why I did that. It's just too big. It may look cool, but 150 pieces, it's very big and bulky. You know, it's a lot compared to this little guy. This is a Microfighter. These are almost just Lego ships. You know, you can almost, say that they're actual Lego ships. So a lot of these are gonna have to be redone. So, but I have figures. It's just, what do I put this guy in? Just a Coruscant guard or that LAAT guy. There's another one, Coruscant clone trooper. It's like, does every single Star Wars figure need a ship? I think that's Ezra. Ezra doesn't have anything. New Ezra. So you just have to figure out like who gets what. This is just a regular pilot, but I don't know what he goes in. Thanks everybody for hanging out. It's noon o'clock. We got our guy done. Don't save. Go away. So I will render this and then start sorting the parts and get some parts sorted for the other ones, and then we'll just go from there. We'll see what happens. Thursday, I believe, I'll be here. Yeah, Thursday will be Juneteenth, so we have that off of work, and I don't have anything planned that night. Lego Double Insider Points will start on the 19th, so if you plan on making any purchases, that'd be a good time to do it this coming weekend. Tomorrow's another episode of Lego Masters. Please tune in and watch our lug mate, our friend Justin, and his partner John do some good stuff. And if you get a chance, go back a video in this channel and my channel and watch my interview with Justin. I think it was a pretty good interview. He's a great human being. But yeah, so this Thursday, I don't know what we'll do, but it should be fun. Maybe more Q2. I still have a botanical set we can build. We'll see what happens. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Happy Father's Day to you dads out there. And take care. Talk to you soon.